Noiseless Patient Spider by Walt Whitman. A noiseless, patient spider, and marked where, on a little promontory, it stood, isolated. Marked how, to explore the vacant, vast surrounding, it launched forth filament, filament, filament out of itself, ever unreeling them, ever tirelessly speeding them. And you, O my soul, where you stand, surrounded, surrounded in measureless oceans of space, ceaselessly musing, venturing, throwing, seeking the spheres to connect them, till the bridge you will need be formed, till the ductile anchor hold, till the gossamer thread you fling catch somewhere, O my soul. So, what is this poem about? Well, if we look at the top, first, it's an extended metaphor. After we talk about it, you're going to have to tell me what it's an extended metaphor for. You'll notice on the side I started my definition. That's what you should be doing, or you should have done already, so that you know what these words mean as you read them. So this starts with a noiseless, patient spider. So it's interesting to note the characterization this spider has been given. It's patient. It's being patient. It's waiting for something. It's standing on a promontory, which is a land or rock formation that's above the ground that projects outward towards the sea. So imagine a teeny tiny spider on this huge, huge piece of land, and it's sitting there all by itself because it is isolated, again, all alone out on this ledge. So that gives us this image of the teeny tiny thing in this huge world. It says marked how to explore the vacant, vast surrounding. So we have this empty, open, large space that this little teeny tiny spider is looking at. And we have this alliteration for vacant and vast to really emphasize how hopeless it is almost for this little spider, seemingly hopeless. It underscores how alone maybe he is, saying that in the vacant, vast area. But what does this little tiny spider out in this big, vast world do? It launches forth its filament. It launches forth this little thread, this fiber, this tendril out of itself. It sends this out into the world, and it does it ever unreeling, ever tirelessly speeding. So how hard is this little spider working? He's patient. He's constantly launching forth a piece of himself, something from himself out into the world. So this stanza of the poem is very, very literal. We're definitely talking about a spider and what this little tiny spider out in this huge, vast world can do for itself. And it's a patient spider, and as it's out here in this big, vast world, it's slowly throwing out small pieces of itself. It's a really, really hard worker, and he's leaving something in this space where he is. He's leaving something behind of himself in this huge space, and that's the filament that he's spindling out of himself. Now there's a shift in the poem right here. It changes. This is an apostrophe. It says, and you, O my soul, where you stand. So now the poet is addressing an inanimate object or an abstract idea, and that is the idea of the soul. So the author of this poem is now speaking to his soul. So we've changed from a very literal poem up at the top, we're talking about the spider. Now we're talking about a soul. So this is more metaphorical or figurative now. So again, it's called an apostrophe when you use to address something that's not there. And we're using some personification. Say, oh, my soul, where you stand. So now the soul is standing somewhere. Think about this as a person where you are, where you're standing in life, like a little tiny spider was standing on that promontory. And where is the soul? It is surrounded in measureless oceans of space. So we have surrounded in measureless oceans of space. The S's, that alliteration again, which is really emphasizing that we are the surroundedness of this person or this soul that is out there. And the measureless oceans of space. Think about this in terms of a person's life. What could measureless oceans of space be a metaphor for? What do people have many of out there in this world? How about opportunities? They have opportunities to do things. It's just there. So then the soul is ceaselessly musing, venturing, throwing, seeking spheres to connect them. So here we have this soul out in this measureless oceans of space where it has all these opportunities and it's constantly thinking and venturing and throwing and tirelessly trying to make connections between things in its world. Maybe it's undertaking something that's really difficult, or maybe it's something that's uncertain, and so it's constantly seeking and seeking, trying to find something as it moves through this world. Then it says, so it's constantly doing that. It's constant, just like the little spider at the top is constantly launching forth its filament and leaving that out there. This person, this soul, is throwing all this stuff out there until the bridge it needs is formed and the ductile anchor holds. So if we look at ductile, it means stretchable or malleable. It's able to be stretched or shaped without breaking. And I think that that's what's important here. So this person, this soul, is constantly searching for something until the bridge it needs is formed and it holds. It can be shaped, it can be changed, but it finally catches to something, just like the little spider's filament finally catches to something as it starts to build a web. So the gossamer thread you fling, catch somewhere, oh my soul. So gossamer is a light, thin, delicate, like a cobweb, right? So we've just brought this poem full circle. We started with a spider. We ended with a soul. This soul is throwing out gossamer threads, just like the spider throws out filaments. What do these gossamer threads do in the world? What does it mean when they catch somewhere? What does it mean for the soul to find something and catch somewhere? What is a person leaving behind based on this poem?